I'm excited about our next guest. He's
So
best
am
known
I.
for playing a shady lawyer, Saul
Just
Goodman.
Over there.
Yes, I know he's over there. In the hit American drama Breaking Bad and the spin-off Better Call Saul.
Now, actor and author Bob Odenkirk is touring the UK with his new memoir documenting the highs and lows of showbiz. Let's take a look at him in action.
People are saying you're prosecuting an innocent man. Does the DA's office have something to hide?
Well, what,
Excuse me, please let me through. That's my client you're talking about.
We're Saul Goodman, and this is Bob Odenkirk. Lovely to have you on the programme.
Nice to be
You're
here.
shaking your head watching that. I mean, but he must be one of the great characters to play.
He is. I get to do comedy like that. That is a ridiculous scene where he's come into the courthouse with his own camera crew, pretending they're news crew, to make a commercial, you know, in the actual halls of the courts, and he gets away with it. And he gets into an argument with a rival and puts it in his commercial. And he's a fun character to play, a lot of fun. In Breaking Bad, he was so much fun, and he was really comic relief. And as I tell in my book, in Better Call Saul, then they go into the drama of his true life, sort of who he really is.
And for those that don't know, Better Call Saul is like the prequel to Breaking Bad. And in Breaking Bad, you come in a little bit into the series, don't you? And at the time, it wasn't the huge success that it is now.
Not at all. In fact, it was almost canceled the first 2 seasons. It was very much on the fringe of what people were watching. Mad Men was a big hit on AMC, and Breaking Bad was the quieter, smaller show, and then over time it became huge.
And you came in, I think, is it season 2?
Season 2.
When it wasn't really, so it wasn't a...
No, nobody had seen it. I mean, I was lucky to find one friend who'd seen it and told me that it was really good and that I must do it. And I was going to do it just for the fun of it. And that's what is in my book, too, is the variety of experiences that I've had in show business, because I've done comedy for most of my career. That's why it's comedy, comedy, comedy. And then drama has become how I've become known around the world, from Better Call Saul and the action movie Nobody and things like that.
And you say that because, you know, the vast majority before that was writing stuff for programs like
Yeah,
Saturday
I was a
Night
writer.
Live.
I've got 2 Emmys for comedy writing. I wrote Chris Farley's motivational speaker character, Matt Foley. I wrote for Saturday Night Live. I had my own show. I wrote for Tenacious D. I wrote Tim and Eric. I helped out to construct their show. I wrote many, many things that you've seen, and that's what I did. And I liked to perform once in a while. And then I got this fluke of an offer to be on Breaking Bad, which nobody was watching. And then it snowballed into this huge thing.
At what point did you realise this is actually quite big? What was it a day? Was it a series of events? How did it work?
The Comic-Con of the final season of Breaking Bad, and they have a comic convention. It's all people who are into TV shows and movies and cartoons and animation. And they had a big celebration for us at the finale season was just beginning, as our Better Call Saul finale season is going to start in about a month from now. And it was the biggest thing I've ever been a part of. I mean, it was the closest to feeling like you were a Beatle at once for a few minutes in this life. And we were being chased around the streets by crowds. Wherever you went, people would see you and run. And it was great fun. I just stuck with Aaron Paul, who played Jesse on the show. He's very recognizable and very beloved. And it was just great fun to travel around with him and see that convergence of energy and excitement.
And as a comedy writer, as someone who I guess you consider yourself primarily, you know, for all that time you were writing, did you ever imagine you might feel like a Beatle?
No, not at all. And it was fun to do for a few minutes and then be done with it.
So, because those Comic-Con events, they can be intense, can't they?
Oh, yeah, thousands of people. And that was a great... you know, there's thousands of people in this large convention center, and that, if you want to experience it, you have to go in disguise. So that year, Bryan Cranston had a very specially made mask of his own head that he put over his head. It looked exactly like him, but because it was a mask, nobody bothered him.
That's ingenious, isn't it?
It was genius.
It sounds to me, do you prefer... in terms of your career then, when you look back at it, do you prefer writing for other people? Do you get more of a buzz from writing a line that someone else delivers well?
Yes, writing to me is more satisfying over time. It sticks with you that you did something special. I talk about this in my book, that it just feels like an achievement. Acting feels like you ran a race. You can sort of remember you did it, but I don't know, did I? I don't know, look at the clock again. Make sure I did it.
Was that really me?
Yeah, was that really me? I don't know, it's a thing that passes. It's more fleeting, but it's great fun to do, and I've had the chance to do it at a high level now for a few years.
Now, I believe that you recently had quite a health scare, didn't you?
I did. I had a heart attack.
You had a heart
which
attack?
Which is called a heart incident technically.
Yeah.
If you're a heart doctor, you'd say, no, Bob, you had a heart incident. Who knows? I stopped breathing. My heart stopped because it got blocked by a plaque in the widowmaker artery. And I would have died if my cast members hadn't been, 10 feet away watching me go down.
You were on a set?
I was on the set of Better Call Saul in our finale season, which took almost a year to shoot. There's 13 episodes, and it took a long time to make. I slowed us down with the heart attack. I did take a 5-week break after that, but I had surgery the next morning. They went through my wrist and they put 2 stents in, and so my heart is partly tin now. But I'm in good shape.
That's incredible. And is it right that you have you been told this, or do you think this yourself, that the fact that you were looking after yourself basically is the reason why you're sat here today?
I did an action movie last year that a lot of people enjoyed called Nobody. And training for that movie, I trained for 2 years. I got in the best shape of my life. And that helped save my life from the heart attack, because some of the veins in your heart will get larger when you train hard. And so when they did CPR, that meant there was an avenue for the blood to go into my heart and keep it alive. And there's almost no scarring on my heart because of training hard. So if you're training, keep it up. It's good for you. Even if you have an incident like that happen, it'll keep you alive.
So what do you do about that now, then?
I train just as hard. I think there's going to be a sequel, so I got to
be there for that.
I'm going to be out there again in a few months, not too long, I think, making the sequel.
I was going to ask you about that, because obviously Better Call Saul has you finished filming it. The final series is going to be on, and then what's next for you other than the other film?
I'm making a show with my friend David Cross. I did comedy for most of my career. That's why the book's called Comedy, Drama. I wanted to warn you. If you just want to read about Breaking Bad, you're only going to read the last 30 pages. But
it's a good 30 pages.
But it's a comedy project called Guru Nation.
Okay.
And we're going to play gurus. I'm going to be a Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh kind of guy. He's going to be a Keith Raniere from Nexium type guy. I don't know if you guys know these references, but if you watch The Vow on Netflix, you can learn about some of the modern cults in America, and we're going to make fun of them.
Okay, well, I'm sure it's going to be as successful as your other stuff. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us about your memoir, which is called, as you said, Comedy, Drama.
Yeah.
And it's out now. Thank you very much,
Thank
Bob.
you
Great
so
to see you.
Bob, it's brilliant to meet you. I'm sure you don't really have a tin heart. I think there's a real beating heart under there.
You're watching BBC Breakfast. The time right now is 8:59.